is Koh Payam, Thailand. Hey there, good afternoon. It is just a little bit past 12 noon, January 6th, the usual hot and humid here on Koh Payam Island, Thailand, in the Andaman Sea near the town of Ranong and Myanmar to the northwest. So Ao Yai Beach and Bay is right up ahead. My motorbike is parked about a kilometer that way. I'm going to walk over there and get cruising. I was considering whether or not to film a video today. Obviously, I decided to go ahead with it. My last day here on the island, I still haven't decided my plans as far as whether I'm going to visit the nearby Koh Chang Island. More about that a little later, but I saw this little bungalow resort looked interesting and decided to start a video here showing the bungalow and cool restaurant, and there's another one right next to it, Rasta something. Now there's a bit more of a reason why I decided to go ahead and film today and also to start the video right here, because I'm pretty sure that where I stayed the last time that I was here way back in 2008, 16 years ago, was somewhere along here. So you have the Rasta Baby Bar. Tan Son Bungalow is where I started the video. And then Frog Beach House. So these are all different places that you can stay, and I guess you can access them from that little path. But there is the main road, so to speak, just down that way, which I'm going to walk to. And then many more bungalows along here. So I have no idea if the place that I stayed the last time is still here or not. None of the places here quite look familiar to me. It was a classic, very simple beach hut for very cheap. I kind of recall it was maybe 150 baht, which is like $5. Now I'm paying more than 30 bucks for a bungalow that isn't even right on the beach. So no idea how much they are here, but times have changed in the past 16 years. So the other reason that I decided to start the video right there is because I stayed here, and also I found a good book there. And so that's what I'm going to start off talking about in this video as I walk along the beach here. So I have been an avid reader throughout much of my life, but not recently. I am actually traveling with 3 books, fortunately that aren't that thick and heavy, but on this trip, and have barely read any of them. One is called The Science of Sleep. I haven't read a page of that one. Another one is a Paulo Coelho book, manuscript found in Accra, I think it is, which I've read just a little bit of. And then another one, now I forget what that one is called, which I mentioned previously. I started reading it and then months later went back and started it over, and then haven't read that in months. And so I just don't have time for reading. I am very busy with the videos and all the travel planning, etc. But before YouTube, then I had a heck of a lot more spare time on my hands while traveling. YouTube didn't really become such a focus of my travels until around, 2012, 2013, that 3-month India trip. And I will point out again, here we have this just incredible scene of all the crab holes and the little balls created by the crabs digging out their tunnels, and one little ball at a time, and then you end up with like these designs almost. It's just really quite mind-boggling when you look at the beach, how big it is, and see all the dark area versus the lighter area, and the entire dark area is all covered in these tiny little balls. I almost feel kind of bad walking along here, ruining their hard work, but that is most of the beach, so that's the way it goes. So when I was here in 2008, then I stayed at this cool beach hut bungalow place. I forget how long, 4 or 5 days, something like that. But they had a library, just a bookshelf with books, and it was a, leave a book, take a book kind of a thing. And I found on that bookshelf Shantaram by Gregory David Roberts, which is one of my all-time favorite books. And then there were 2 other books that I read on that trip. And so I thought that I would mention and recommend these books because they were all just phenomenal. I forget if I found the other 2 there, maybe one of them, but the other 2 books I also found at free library bookshelves. So Shantaram is kind of a true story, autobiographical by Gregory David Roberts. I'm not going to tell the whole book and ruin it for you, but just to give the general idea of the book. He is an Australian drug addict, and he robs a convenience store at gunpoint in Australia and gets busted, gets put into prison. He manages to escape the prison and flee to India, where he then embarks on this whole crazy journey of getting involved in the underground mafia of Mumbai, India, goes on more drug rampages, becomes this kind of international man of mystery, you could say, in which he has multiple passports, and he's going around doing all this stuff associated with the mafia business, and gets involved in the war in Afghanistan in the 80s, Russia trying to take over Afghanistan or the Soviet Union, etc. Really amazing book. It's 800 or 900 pages. I got totally wrapped into that and was sad when it was done. I have since tried the sequel. What is it called? The Something Mountain. And it hasn't grabbed me the same way, and I haven't finished that one. So the second book is one of the all-time most insane stories you will ever read. Also, probably true. So Shantaram is based on his life, but he keeps it very vague as to what exactly is true and what is fictionalized. This book, The Secret Hunters by Ranulph Fiennes, not to be confused with Ralph Fiennes, the actor. Ranulph Fiennes is a professional explorer who was voted by some organization as being the greatest living explorer. He is still alive. British guy. So Ranulph Fiennes is on an expedition to Antarctica, and they stop at this supply shed that I believe was on the Antarctic continent or an island right next to it, something like that. And I guess it's a place where you can stop and you can access, I don't know if it's for emergencies or what, but anyways, they access this shed, and inside the shed he finds a manuscript, the most random thing, a book, you know, written out or typed out or whatever. Looks at it and is like, whoa, what the heck is this doing here? And then he just like puts it somewhere, takes it back home, puts it on a bookshelf, and then like 2 years later he finally gets around to picking up the manuscript again and taking a look, and he starts reading it and is blown away by the insanity of this story. Basically, it tells the story of how the manuscript ended up in Antarctica, and whether or not it's true is unverified. So he edited the manuscript and then published it as a book, as a work of fiction, because all of the characters and everything are, I guess, not identified. He doesn't know at all who this person was. But as for what the story is about, so The Secret Hunters refers to an underground organization that is dedicated to bringing to justice Nazi war criminals. So the Secret Hunters, they're secretly hunting for Nazis that escaped prosecution. And so the scope of the book covers World War II and then various other events, because the author, the supposed author, lives later in like maybe the 80s or 90s or something. And what happens is just so crazy in terms of the entire story, and then how this manuscript ends up in a storage shed in Antarctica is just the ultimate climax to the book. So I don't want to give this one away at all, but check it out. The Secret Hunters by Ranulph Fiennes, just phenomenal. And then the third book that I read on that same trip is called Dove, and I forget who the author is of that. I will put it down below, but it is the story of a young man who sails around the world. So I will keep that one short. I mean, that's basically it. Great book, you know, full-on adventure story. Not as, you know, mind-blowing as the other two, but I've had that association with Koh Payam, you know, ever since finding those books and being grateful that I happened to come across, especially Shantaram and The Secret Hunters. So, anyways, where is my motorbike? I forget if it's further that way. This might be the spot right here. I think so. The end of the main road. So, one of the reasons why I decided to go ahead and film today is because when I filmed the video yesterday, Then I tried to go to Ao Quang Pib Beach hiking, and as I showed in that video then, I ended up at this really funky construction zone near the water. But I think that there was a much nicer beach the other way that I didn't walk, and so I figured I should go explore that way and see if that beach is a nice one. I'm also going to end up back at my favorite beach on the island and take another swim. All right, the motorbike is up ahead. Here we go. My last day on lovely Koh Phangan.
Cadbury Dairy Milk, de généreux morceaux de chocolat onctueux.